All right. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you, and welcome to the today's class. So, as you already are aware of this, that we are planning to finish all the four modules of IELTS as an assessment classes in the month of July. We have already covered the syllabus, the entire syllabus of the IELTS exam in detail in the month of June. And in July, we are focusing only on the assessment and practice questions based on the different modules. So, previously covered, let's see what all we have covered in the previous two classes. So, when we started in July with the online assessment classes, free Shiksha online assessment classes, so then we covered up speaking part 1 and part 2. So part 2 is basically your cue cards and writing task 1, which is for academic report writing, and writing task 2, general training. So we covered these three topics, in total. So far, sorry, four, not three, speaking part 1, part 2, and then writing task 1 and task 1 of general training. So here is a slight error, I'll just correct it right here. So I just wanted to show you what all we have covered so far, and what we'll be covering in the today's class is IELTS reading. So IELTS reading, not all questions. We have picked up few major questions first, and then whatever questions are left, that will be covered in the upcoming classes of the reading module. So today we'll be focusing or throwing some light on the diagram label questions. Then we'll also be seeing how we can solve true, false, not given questions, which are also known as identify a writer's view or claims. Okay, sorry, yes, no, not given. Then identifying information, which is also known as true, false, and not given, which is basically on the factual information. And then we'll be throwing some light or seeing the examples and sample questions of matching features, headings, information, and sentence endings. So these are all kinds of matching questions. Okay. Now, if you have not registered so far, so please click on the link which is given in the description below, so that you can have access over all the free sample papers, as well as all the classes which we have had. We have already uploaded the videos for all of you on our YouTube channel, which is also with the same name, Shiksha Study Abroad. So you can get access to all these free content and material for your practice for IELTS exam. But you have to do one thing only, that is click on the link below which is given in the description. Okay, so that is the solution to your every problem here. Now, without any further delay, let's start with the today's class and let's see what do we have. Okay, so we are starting with the diagram label questions. All right, now this is a sample passage in front of you. So I'll show you at least 2 to 3 samples of each kind of questions. So we are starting with the diagram label questions. Here is the sample passage or sample paragraph. So the paragraph is related to school experiments. So please do not ignore the heading or the title of the paragraph. It's very crucial for you to know and understand what is the paragraph about. Now, if we look at the question in the next slide, you can see here is a kind of a diagram which has been given to you with a lot of blanks. Okay, so basically you have to fill in the blanks in the diagram label questions. And the questions might look like this. This question might say questions 1 to 6. Okay, this is just a sample question. And the question says the diagram below shows how copper sulfate can be made using simple laboratory equipment. All right, so we know that this is a process, or this is a diagram based on how copper sulfate can be made using simple laboratory equipment. So this is the question or the diagram about. Now, the instructions are very important, as I have told you already in my previous videos as well. When I was covering up, or when I was, teaching you, when you were learning diagram label questions with me, that time also I highlighted in my previous videos in the month of June, when we did it in detail, that, instructions are very much important. So let's read the instructions. What are they? Choose no more than 3 words and or a number. This is highlighted in bold as well. So this will be bolded in the exam as well, just for you to know that instructions cannot be ignored. From the passage for each answer. So label diagram. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's given till 6. 6 blanks are there. What you have to do is you have to understand the diagram, and then you have to go back to the passage to find out what are the lines which are referring to certain stages. Okay, and I have also labeled the examples as well as explanation for those examples. So let's try to at least solve one or two questions from each of the categories. So first you can see here reaction, and then there is a blank. Okay, so we know that something is related to this word. Now let's see what is the word in the first blank. It's filtration. And how did we find that? Explanation. The second stage is the filtration stage. Okay, this is how we got to know that the first blank will be filtration. And this sentence has been taken from the passage. The second stage is the filtration stage. So let's try to find this line here. So you can see here the first, the reaction stage. Okay, so this has already been mentioned. That means it is the first stage. Now second stage is filtration. Let's try to find that line which we found in the explanation. Here, the second stage is the filtration stage, and the name suggests is where a filter and conical flask are used to remove any copper oxide. So this is the second stage, and it has been mentioned very directly. Hence, after reaction, the second stage will be filtration. So the first answer, first blank will be filtration. Let's try to see the second one as well to understand it better. Sorry. All right, coming to concentration. Now, after first there is written concentration, and there is a blank again after concentration. So let's see what is the answer which they have put. They have put it as crystallization. Let's try to understand why crystallization can come in the second blank. So I have given the explanation as well. The final crystallization stage happens when the solution begins to cool and pure copper sulfate crystals start to form. So answers 1 and 2 can be understood from the mentioned information that defines the stages. Of course, these are directly mentioned. So let's try to find this line as well. The final crystallization stage. Yeah, it's the last line of the passage. The final crystallization stage happens when the solution begins to cool and pure copper sulfate crystals start to form. Hence, second will be crystallization. So these are basically the stages which you have to name. Now that you know after first and second blank that these are the names of the stages. So definitely now it will be easy for you to identify third, fourth and fifth as well. You just have to name the stages. Okay. All right, coming to the next kind of diagram. Here is a second passage or second, text which I have here listed out as a sample passage. So the heading to this or the title to this is the platypus. Okay, and then there is a diagram related to the duck-billed platypus. Now, label the diagram, write one word only. So we know that in the instructions it's given, we have to just use one word. Okay. Now again, there are at least 6 blanks, 1 to 6. And I have listed down 4 answers for you. Okay, because anyway we do not have that much time to read and solve every question and answer. So yes, we'll solve at least 3 or 4 of them. So first answer is food. Now the first was here. If you can see my cursor here, bill holds receptors for identifying root and dash. Okay, so the arrow has been listed here to his kind of beak. So bill holds receptors for identifying root and dash. Let's see what else bill can hold for identifying root and identifying what else? Food. Okay, so there are 2 things which the bill can hold or identify. First is food. Now the explanation is in the paragraph 2. Now if we go to paragraph 2 in the passage, then you will see 1 and 2. This is the second paragraph. So the line which has been given here, the shape of its bill gives it the name, the duck-billed platypus. And this flexible body part. It's smooth like suede and has receptors for navigation and detection of movements of freely swimming food such as shrimp. So again, we have the mention of food here. Freely swimming food. Of course, freely swimming food cannot be written as the answer because we have to use only one word. So we'll write food as the word for the answer. Now, if we look at the second, now this is very much common. We have read it in our biological classes as well, that these parts of our nose, in fact, is also known as nostrils. So we also have nostrils. So maybe they call it something else. Please do not go on your guesswork, okay, just because you know the word or the answer by yourself because of your previous or past studies. Please cross check the answers in the passage, okay, even if you know them. So closable dash, because for animals and for certain reptiles, these parts or certain body parts can be named in another form, okay, just because of that. So nostrils is the answer, and explanation again is given in this paragraph, paragraph 2. The eyes and the ears located in the grooves behind the bill are covered by folds of skin and a watertight seal that closes the nostrils when it is underwater. Okay, closes the nostrils. So again, we know that these part of the nose are known as nostrils. Now, later on when you rewatch the video, you can try to figure out the answers for the rest of the blanks by reading this passage which I have given for you. So I am listing down the passages as well just to show you that how you can locate the answer from the passage. Okay, and how the answers are given to certain kind of questions in the reading paper. Now, if we skip this part and so that I can leave one diagram for you later on, because if I'll solve everything, then you will have nothing to solve by yourself, right? So I had 3 diagrams here, 2 we have discussed. Now, the third one is left to you. When you rewatch the video, you can, solve it by yourself. So these are few of the sample question and answers for diagram level questions. Now, if we move on to the true, false, not given, okay? Now, these questions can be kind of tricky to handle, okay, first of all, because true, false, not given, majorly the confusion is between false and not given. True is quite easy to identify. Now, here I have given one sample passage known as coral triangle. This is the heading. Now, the questions might look like this for true, false, not given questions. Do the following statements agree with the information given in the reading passage? So, write true, false, and not given. Now I have listed down 3 questions for you and we'll one by one solve all of them. So the first question is, the coral triangle spreads over half of the United States. Now let's find out if this statement is true, false, or not given in the passage. Now the explanation to this answer has been given in paragraph 1. The answer is false. Okay, but the explanation given in paragraph 1 is the Philippines is part of so-called coral triangle which spans eastern Indonesia, parts of Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, and Solomon Islands. It covers an area that is equivalent to half of the entire United States. Now, in the last line, you can see here, it covers an area that is equivalent to half of the entire United States. So, equivalent to half of the entire US, that is the information given in the passage. But in the sentence in the question, they are saying the coral triangle spreads over half of the United States. So is it true or is it false or is it not given? Definitely it's given. So not given is not an option that can be, eliminated. True, it is not. Why? Because it is, colliding or it is contrasting with the statement which has been presented in part 1. So always remember your answer to part false. That is, you'll write false only when the sentence in the passage is contradicting with the sentence in the question. Okay, and you will write true when the sentence is exactly matching in meaning to the sentence in the question. These are both the terms which you have to remember. For not given, definitely nothing will be given, and even if the partial information is given and it's not clear from the passage or the sentence in the passage, then definitely you have to go for not given. Please do not confuse yourself. It will come with practice. So I would advise all of you to practice enough true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given in order to understand these questions well, so that you do not get confused in your exam. All right. Coming to the next question now. So the question says, so the question is, the Philippines economy relies largely on coral reefs. Okay, so the Philippines economy relies largely on coral reefs. All right, we have understood the question. Let's go to the answer. The answer for this is not given in the passage. Explanation is, though passage 3 mentions that coral reefs are important economic assets for the Philippines, it does not mention that it is the major contribution to the Philippines economy. So here you can see the difference why the answer is not given. Although in paragraph 3 it is given, this paragraph, it is given that it is, the important economic asset for Philippines, but it does not mention in the paragraph 3 that it is the major contributor to Philippines economy. That means something else is a major contributor to Philippines economy, although this coral reef is a part of it. Okay, it's not the major. Whereas in the question it's saying the Philippines economy relies largely on coral reefs. So that is wrong, right? And that is not mentioned. So again, the answer is not given. So you can see that how, first and second can be compared in what terms. For example, false, for false, the sentence was completely contradicting, hence the answer was false. Whereas in not given, partial information was given, but it was not true again, right? So again, the answer will be not given. Now, if we come to the third one, coral reefs make better fishing areas than the open sea. Let's try to highlight the keywords here if you're doing it on a paper, or even if you're doing it on computer-based test. Now you have the option for creating your notes and highlighting the notes on the computer where you're giving the exam. So you can do that, no problem. Now, let's try to find out the synonyms. Always remember in yes, no, not given questions and in true, false, not given questions. Majorly in these two type of questions, you have to list down your keywords. That means highlight the words which you think can be converted into the synonyms. Okay, because never the same language or never the same words and phrases will be used in your passage. Whatever words have been used in your question, those will be different from the words in the passage. So you will just waste your time finding the same words. All right, sometimes 1% it can be same, but 99% it's the synonyms. So I hope you understand what are synonyms. Synonyms are basically the words which are similar in meaning, but again different in spelling and form. Okay. So coral reefs make better fishing areas than the open sea. This is the question. Now, if we look at the answer, of course, it is true. And the explanation has been given in paragraph 4. So you can read later on when you rewatch the video and see where we found this line. Paragraph 4, in paragraph 4, there was one of the lines which says, as fishing grounds, they are thought to be 10 to 100 times as productive per unit area as the open sea. So you can see here the language is quite different, but the meaning remains the same. So that is what we have to compare. We have to compare the meaning, what the sentence in the question is saying, and then we have to compare that meaning to the passage line or the sentence in the passage. If it matches, it's true. If it's going opposite, it's false. If it's not given or partially given, it's not understood by the line, then it's not given. Okay. I hope I have made myself clear. Now, definitely it might sound confusing to you if you're listening to me for the first time. So if you want to eradicate that confusion, please go to our previous videos where we have discussed all the reading questions in detail. Especially I have given a special class on true, false, not given, yes, no, not given separately. So please go and watch them. The link is below in the description. You will find the IELTS calendar, and you will also find the IELTS calendar for June and July, both the months. So you can rewatch the videos which we had in June, and you can also get notified for the videos which are upcoming in the future in the month of July. All right, so coming to the yes, no, not given questions now. Now these are quite similar, but not in similar to what you have to do. Your requirement of the question changes, and of course the content also changes. So if there is written in the instructions that you have to write yes, no, and not given, so you cannot write true instead of yes. You cannot write false instead of no. Okay? You have to remember that. So you have to read the instructions really very carefully. Now we have to write yes, no, not given. And the questions are, first question, money serves more purposes and more happiness to people. This is something said by someone. Okay, there is an author. So basically, in yes no not questions, yes no not given questions, you get the opinions or the tellings of the famous people, of the authors, and they say something, and then you have to predict the answer, and you have to see in the passage whether the opinion or the tellings of the author are matching with the questions. Okay, with the opinions in the questions. So first is money serves more purposes and more happiness to people. Now let's see what was the answer for this. The answer for this, according to the question, is no. Now the explanation has been given in paragraph 1. Money serves various purposes, but more money does not equal more happiness. Now you can see that this line has also been written by the author, and this was the original line which was written here in the first paragraph. You can see here, I'm in the passage now. Hey Joy is the title, and there are 4 passages. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I am going to the first passage where we found the answer. And the answer is in this line. Money serves various purposes, but more money does not equal more happiness. So definitely it's contradicting, and it's, opposite to what is being said in the question. Hence the answer is no. It's just like false, but you have to write no. Now, the second question is, even rich countries can't overtake the poor countries in happiness. Now, this is the question, and answer is yes. Why? The explanation was found in paragraph 2. So later on, you can check by yourself as well if you do not understand it right now. Paragraph 2, there was a line which said, statistics show that affluent countries do not score higher on the happiness scale than emerging or poor countries. Okay, so hence the answer is yes, because it's matching absolutely with the question. Okay, with the question. So you can just relate the words, you can contrast and match the words. If the words match in meaning, not in form, not in context, in meaning, that means the synonyms are matching with the words in the question, then the answer is yes. Let's see the third one, the last one as well, for yes, no, not given. If you work hard, you will not have time for your personal relationships. This is being said for the question. Let's see what the author said in the passage. So, not given is the answer for this. Why? The explanation, paragraph 4, the particular information is not found in the passage. Hence, the answer is not given. So, as I said, either nothing will be given to you, okay, then definitely the answer is not given. And even if something is given to you which is not understandable or which is not related to the point in the question, to any point in the question, that also relates the answer as not given. Okay, please do not confuse it with false and no. All right, with this we cover up the yes, no, not given questions as well. Now let's see what are match the heading questions. Now this is again one of the questions in which the candidates really get tricked, because there are so many headings and there are less questions. Then you get confused which question to match with which option. So yes, for your help, I have listed down here 2 passages for now. Okay, there will be several passages in the exam, but for sample question and answer, I have listed down 2, and they have been lettered as A and B. And the heading says Almus, the Mongolian man beast. This is the heading or title for these 2 passages. Now, if we go to the next slide, we can see the questions. So, match the heading questions might come to you like this. The reading passage has 6 paragraphs, A to F. As I said, there will be several, but I have only listed down 2 for you for now. Choose the correct heading for each paragraph from the list of the headings below. So just like A and B, A to F paragraphs will be given to you in the exam. They will be lettered A, B, C, D, E, F, and you have to match those A, B, C, D with these Roman numbers. So Roman numbers are the options for you from where you have to select the answer. So for example, the first is Lamaism. Then second is first account of Almasis. Okay. Then third is missing link. Fourth is lost evidence, and so on till the Roman number 10. Now let's try to find out the answer for A and B. So the A answer is 10th. This is not X, this is Roman number 10. Okay, so A paragraph matches with mysterious mountain men. Why? Let's see the explanation. So the explanation is given here. From these mountains have long come reports of a mysterious human-like creature called an almus. So here is a very big hint for your answer. Okay, for the 10th one. Though paragraph A mentions old accounts of Almasis, second is not an answer because it does not specifically mention the first account. So you have to make sure that which is the closest option to the answer. You might get confused, guys, when you're doing this match the heading questions. You might get confused that, okay, first is also matching with A, then I can see fourth also matching with A, then how should I relate to the answer? Now just tick mark in your paper with a pencil 1, 4 and 10. For example, these three are the pointers which you think that might be the answer for paragraph A, first question. Then once you have found the three or two options in between which you're getting confused, then try to do the elimination process. Elimination process is that when you get to the closest answer, the last two become the eliminated ones. Okay, that means as soon as you find which is the closest one to the answer, you have to read the passage very carefully, line by line in match the heading questions, because you, even if you miss one word, one phrase, or one sentence, the answers might go wrong. So in match the heading questions, you have to be very careful. Please do not skip reading any line. I would advise you to read each and every line, although I do not advise you to read every line in the whole reading paper for other questions. But for match the heading questions, it's very crucial. So again, when you read the paragraph again and you see that which pointer, 1, 4th or 10th, which one is matching the most with the paragraph A. Okay, that means the paragraph A. What is the appropriate heading which we can give to paragraph A? Then you will come to the conclusion after reading it. Okay, so after reading it, you will get certain hints and you will get certain words which are matching. But please do not get confused. Keep underlining the words, the key words which you're getting, so that you can relate to it later on. Now, if you see the paragraph B is suitable for answer 2, Roman number 2. So Roman number 2 was first account of Almasis. Let's see if we have the first account of Almasis. So there, in the explanation in the paragraph, there was a line which said, the earliest description of an almus. Earliest description is a very big keyword here, because of which you can see that second is the answer. So earliest description of an almus appears in the memoirs of a Bavarian nobleman, Hans Schüttelberger, who was taken prisoner by the Turks in early 1400s and sent eastward to serve a Mongol prince. So you can see the earliest description was the first hint, and then later on when we read in the passage in this line, we came to know that the first account was mentioned in paragraph B. So first account of Almasis, B is the answer. This is how we relate to match the heading questions. This is how we find the answers for match the heading questions. Now we come to match sentence endings. This is quite simple, but again it can be tricky if you do not follow certain tricks. So the questions might look like this. Questions 1, 2, 3. Complete each sentence with the correct ending A to I from the box below. So write the correct letter A to I as your answer to each question. Okay, so we have to write A to I. Now, first is breeding of dogs for appearance is harmful. Okay, so this is the question. Breeding of dogs for appearance is harmful. Okay, coming to the first answer, that is C. Explanation is in paragraph 2. So one major worrying factor is the practice of breeding for the sake of appearance. And it is the animal which suffers due to genetic exploitation. So you can see again that the words are different, okay, but the meaning is same. Hence, the C is the option for first one. So this is how you will take out the answers for second and third as well. So you just have to match the letters A to I. So A to I letters will be given to you in the exam. This is just a sample question. And then you will match those letters with the questions. Okay. All right. Coming to the next kind of question, which says matching features. So match features, again, I have given a sample passage here known as telepathy. And the questions might look like this. Write the correct letter A to E on your answer sheet. Note, this is a very important note. So this will be given to you. You may use any letter more than once. So if this is given to you, then only you will use the letters more than once. Otherwise, you will not use. So again, write the correct letters A to E. So in front of 1, 2, 3, 4, what you will do is you will write the letters A to E, the options which are given to you. Okay. And the passages are given to you here. You will read the passage. First, you will read the questions. The correct approach to do any question in the reading paper is that you first read the questions, then you go back to the passage to find that particular answer for that particular question. You do not start reading the whole passage from the first line until last line. No, that will waste your time. Because after reading the passage again, you will come to the question, then again you will read the question and then go back to the passage again. So that will waste a lot of time. This is a very big tip which I give to my students as well, that please do not try to waste your time. So I have listed down the answers, guys. It's quite a simple kind of question. You can just, match the sentence endings and then you can check your answers later on after you rewatch the video. All right, coming to another kind of question, which is matching information. So let's see, what do we have in matching information? Again, a sample passage with 2 paragraphs and 1 and 2 question here. So note again that you may use any letter more than once. Again, you can use the letter more than once. First is a comparison of past and present transportation methods. Now, the answer to this is C. And how driving habits contribute to road problems? Answer is F. This is how you have to write the answer for matching information. Okay, and for that, for these particular 2 questions, you can come back here to the passage and you can relate to the question and see why the answers were C and F. All right. Okay, guys, so with this, I come to the end of the PPT. I have explained you quite a number of questions. I have left out, few sample questions for you to see yourself, for you to identify the answers and solve them so that you can come on later and, you can come later here on the comment section and ask me questions or queries. And now I give you some time to ask your doubts and queries as well. So please go on and comment down your queries below. If you have any question related to today's webinar or today's free online Shiksha class, as well as any other class in the past. So please start asking your questions before I wind up. So now I give you some time to ask your questions. And yes, also please register with us in case you have not registered. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for your help, I am also listing down the link, okay, on the comment section below, so that if you're not able to find that link which I'm telling you to register with, you can always look back in the comment section and just click on it. So I'm waiting for your questions, guys. In case you do not have any question, that's fine. So here is the link. I have just copy pasted the link here for all of you. So you can just register it. And in case you do not have any question or you want to see the questions first, you want to solve them, of course, then you will come up with questions. That is also fine with me. So you can also, comment down the queries. All your queries will be answered later on as well. Do not worry that once the live class has finished, the answers will not be entertained. No, that's not an issue. Every question will be answered and we'll try to reach you as soon as possible through the comment section. So please write all of your queries and comments on the comment section, all right? All right, guys. So that is the end of the class. And with this, I take your leave and I wish you a very good night. And I'll see you coming Saturday, sorry, coming Thursday. As you can see here, Tuesday and Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. is the class. So in the IELTS calendar also, we have mentioned it that what are the timings for the further upcoming classes. You can watch it from there. And yes, take care, everyone. And thank you for joining us, for the candidates who are live, on a regular basis with us. So thank you so much for that. And I'll see you soon, guys. Take care.